Okay, so we've just finished recording the activity of your vocal folds using that Videostroboscopy that was that little camera that was placed on the end of the flexible scope. And it's flexible because, as you saw, it was able to go up your nasal cavity and then back down into your throat so that we could see your vocal cords. And so what that the stroboscopy actually does is normally your vocal folds vibrate very, very quickly. And so we wouldn't normally be able to detect their vibrations and see if they're vibrating normally or what's really going on, what they look like, anything like that. So what the stroboscopy does is there's actually a strobe light that flashes very, very quickly, and it flashes at different phases of the vibratory cycle. And so this sort of gives us an illusion of slow motion. So we can see actually how the vocal folds are vibrating, what's going on, if there's a pathology, all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video clip that we just recorded first, and then I will go back in and explain sort of what's going on. So here's the clip. Okay, so let me just find a good picture here. Okay, so here we have the larynx, and that is what houses the vocal folds. So these are the vocal folds, these two lines right here, and they vibrate together to make sound. And in between the vocal folds is this little space, and it's called the glottis, which sits right on top of your airway or your trachea. So what happens is air comes up your trachea, and then it sort of pushes your vocal folds apart, which makes them vibrate, which then makes sound. So whenever your vocal folds are open and air is coming through, that just means you're breathing. When your vocal folds are really far spread apart and open, so that gap becomes way bigger, and then you're breathing. When your vocal folds are vibrating, then that means you're making sound. And the air is the source of that vibration, which is the source of that sound. So here I'll just orient you to what's going on, and where everything's at. So we have larynx, vocal folds, glottis. This is the front of the larynx or your voice box. This is the back. This is the left, and this is the right. So it's sort of flip-flop since we're looking at this head on. This is actually, so this is the right and this is the left. This little thing right here that kind of looks like a tongue is your epiglottis. So all of this surrounding area is nice and pink. That's good. That's exactly what you want to see. That means it's nice and healthy. Your vocal folds themselves are pearly white. That is also a good sign. You want them to be pearly white. I don't really see any issues here. Everything is symmetrical. I'm not seeing any lumps or bumps. Sometimes people get lumps on here on either side, on either vocal fold. They will get one lump on either vocal fold that looks identical. And these are called vocal fold nodules. A lot of times little kids get them because what happens is if you have, you abuse your voice by yelling too much, which little kids often do, then your vocal folds will hit together so hard and so often that it sort of forms kind of like a callus. Just like a callus would form on your hand from the monkey bars or something. So it's pretty much the same concept. It's just like a callus from overuse that forms on your vocal folds. But I don't see any of those. I don't see any vocal fold nodules. I don't see any other lumps or bumps, any polyps or cysts, which are other growths that can form on the vocal folds. So that looks healthy there. Like I said, everything is symmetrical. I don't see any inflammation or anything. So this is exactly what you want. This is a nice, normal looking larynx, nice, normal looking vocal folds. Their vibrations looked really good, and good pattern and everything. So yeah, you're in good shape. I don't see any sort of pathology at all.